Goddamn. I ashed on myself at the beginning of this podcast, and I've been acting like I haven't. And so.
Welcome back to Show Me Yours podcast, everybody.
I'm Jackie Agnew.
I'm Johnny DeVito.
And I'm Ty Boycido.
Goddamn right, sure. Ty. Hey, who do we got in the studio today?
My lord, gang. Johnny, great question, and I'm glad you asked, all right? Hey, so certain things happen in the world sometimes. Sometimes like a big pandemic or something like that happens, right? Some people sit on their fucking asses. Some people do fuck all. Not our guest today, all right? Okay, this guy from 2019, we're talking Secret Gods, Dead City. 2020 comes up with Insecurities Melt. 2021, Nobody from Nowhere with Nothing. 2022, Floors and Ceilings. And as of June 1st, 2023, a goddamn new single that is, oh man, we're going to get into it. It's going to be fucking sick. I haven't slept in days. Chatterless, a.k.a. MD, a.k.a. Habs fan, my brother from another mother, mon frère d'un autre mère, Mr. Jayme McDonald. Let's go.
Let's go.
Oh, wow.
Hell
What
yes.
an intro.
God damn,
That was powerful.
Yeah, that
So
was
stoked
powerful.
that you were here doing this because, well, one, it's kind of, we mentioned right off the top, it was like kind of the first guest we've had that's not necessarily in the punk world, but
The
we will.
musical guest we've had that's
Yeah.
not in the punk world.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We're getting more than bar chords today.
And we're very fortunate because it's what's the date today? It's like the third.
It's
June
the
3rd, I believe.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the third, and this new single came out on the first.
Like the last 24 hours at least. Yeah.
Right, last
Yeah.
20, and fucking there are people lining up to interview this.
Kids
fucking
cooking,
guy, right?
The kids
Lining
cooking,
up.
but we got
People
it first.
lining up,
Yeah.
and he decides to come up to fucking 47th and to our podcast. Feeling pretty goddamn.
First off, thanks so much for fucking having me. I appreciate this big time.
Very happy to
man.
have
You
you.
guys are awesome.
dude.
I've been following the show for a little bit now, and you guys are good. I love what you guys are doing. There's such a cool energy to this. I have the unfortunate / fortunate experience of being a podcast creator, so I know the grind and like what it takes to do it. And goddamn, it's so much nicer, as Bill Burr said, to show up to your buddy's boat and
Yeah.
just bring something to drink and not
Yeah.
have to
Yeah.
drive or own it. Like, it's so nice.
Yeah.
Let me
really
tell
good
you,
way
we were
to
having
put
some
it.
technical problems earlier.
Oh man, yeah, we had severe
In fact,
technical issues.
Everything kind of almost didn't work today.
Yeah,
We
literally
messed pulled up.
everything that
Oh, yeah.
could go wrong
Yeah.
did.
No,
But
only
here
one
we
light
are.
is working and stuff. We're
Yeah.
in shambles over here,
Yeah,
but hey, it's
we're
summertime.
barely holding on.
You're all still beautiful. It's fine. It's fine. It's
Hell
fine.
yes, dude, man. But thank you so much for coming on. As Ty said, like you're working, like the constant output. That's the interesting thing between like a guy that can kind of do it himself as compared to like a band who has to deal with getting everybody together, writing songs, practicing, recording,
Definitely.
and then putting it out like under like label restrictions and who gets to go next and things like that. So you have the freedom to put out as much as you want.
Yeah, and like I've had label deals in the past, and one of the things I learned like right away, like it's so funny that for a lot of artists, the idea is like, oh, you want to get signed, and then that's like the goal.
Of course.
But then like it's funny, once you are signed, you end up realizing, oh, the pool just shrinks, and now you're just actually competing with your label mates for a lot of the time, and not
Right.
and not like fuck those guys, but more like how much time does mommy and daddy give me in the,
Right.
in the
Oh,
sense,
yeah.
because you're just a bunch of step brothers and sisters
Totally.
working together to one goal. Hopefully.
Let me tell you, they're not a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing, step bro?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like
We're
healthy
not doing karate in the
competition and
garage.
things
I'll
like
tell you that.
is there like because that's like the music that you make in the world kind of outside of it? Like, I mean, I've been to Shambhala like once, and I mean, I'm tripping on acid in the woods for 5 days. I love it as
Yeah.
much as the next guy, but like I didn't really get the music side of it like that I would have like compared to like a punk rock bowling thing that I just got back from or whatever. But I think that's just like my like you choose your own level of involvement.
Yeah.
In Project
Fight
Mayhem.
Club.
Exactly.
Fuck yes. Which actually, weirdly enough, I produced an album called Project Mayhem in 2009 for an artist named Jayme.
Hell yeah.
And it involved me rescoring the entire film of Fight Club.
Oh wow.
So
Jesus.
that was like a huge curious. I was just weird that you said that
Yeah.
specifically. I wouldn't have brought that up.
Massive
No, that's
undertaking.
awesome.
You're
too.
just looking
I was
for
like,
a
I
way to
brought
slip
things
it in
back
there.
together.
Yeah.
By the way, mention Chuck Palahniuk work.
Yeah. If you could bring up Fight Club.
I mean, I'm a
super
big Survivor
casually,
guy.
yeah.
Lullaby
Yeah.
slapped. I mean,
Oh,
honestly.
nice. Oh, you have good taste. That's good.
Did we just become best friends?
Yes.
Oh shit! There
Yes.
might be some karate in the garage.
Might be karate in the garage happening. Hell yeah! So like if you kind of like dictate like what you do, where's the like is there like are you focusing like on live shows? Like where's that aspect of the work kind of?
Well, like if you became like aware of Chatterless like right now,
Yes.
or like in the last 24 hours from the new single,
Yeah.
your experience with the whole project is vastly different from like anything else anyone's listened to in the last
It's
4
wild.
years.
It's
like
wild.
like the song that we're putting out right now, I feel that you should know about it right now. It's available everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't slept in days. It's very much a love letter to the Prodigy and like Crystal Method and Fatboy Slim, any of those groups from that era where there was just like a lot of frenetic, frantic energy to the records. And
Yeah.
I fell in love with that music, and it got to the point where I'm like, there isn't enough of this, and so I like wanted to make some of my own. And you're just hearing comparisons about that have been coming out of the last 24 hours. Has been
Who
like,
doesn't love drums that sound like they're recorded in a giant abandoned warehouse?
They're just
like just that industrial
Yeah.
fucking
Yeah,
vibe
yeah.
is just sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is like
well, I think that's the thing that
it's
I'm
get
missing
shit
from
done
a lot
music.
of that kind of music is it's too vibey or it's too whatever. I like the chaos of it, or like what I mean. There's like like when we walked in and Ty said Prodigy, he fucking nailed it. But I get that feeling like I want to be like in a basement, like unsure if I'm gonna get out of here safely. Like, that's that kind of chaos or whatever that like
yeah,
not easy listening. You know what I mean? And I
yeah,
think
that's the thing I'm going for is like that like is it partially unsafe? Like I want to like have some elements of I don't know, not danger, but like there should be like some element of like you want to be a part of it, but like maybe not too close.
Yes,
like,
yeah. There's
Yeah.
a rawness to
Like,
it.
yeah.
or whatever that I think is like hard to achieve with like in a world where I think like I associate a lot of it. I'm sure like a lot of like great artists, like to my like untrained ear, I'll probably put them in the same category, even though they might not even have any business there or whatever, right? Like either just waiting for what I mean, the drop to come, or what I mean,
Yeah.
or maybe like over like on too much of like whatever style that they're like taking from or whatever. I find it to be like too much reggae over here, or too much trance over here, or something like that. Like
I get that. I
like
know
that's
what you
the
mean.
reason why that I think that Chamblot Festival split up into 5 different stages or whatever, because we're gonna have this kind of party over here and we're gonna have this kind of party over here and stuff, which is like interesting that so many people are doing it, and like I really know nothing about it.
Yeah, and like well to answer your original question about like how does that translate to like live experiences, my own personal journey with Chatterless is that I've played like a few, like I played an outdoor festival, I played like a few shows here and there, but like for the most part the because all those album titles that Ty mentioned earlier, it's like it started off as like Christmas music, just all piano, and then the next album was all lo-fi, and then the next album was a bit of synthwave, and then the next album was all like chill hop, like super more upbeat, and then it was back to synthwave, and then so I've been kind of exploring this. So this is like my first little foray into electronica. So what I'm hoping to do is to stack more records like this over the next like few months, and then be able to start pursue some of these more like grimy
Hell yeah.
underground venues.
you want to go to Berlin, bro.
Yeah,
You
I
wanna
mean-
fucking-
I got a
I mean,
spot for
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to get fucking weird.
And like I've DJ'd over the years for like so many rap groups, and like I've even done the wedding circuit for a while, so like I know like what it takes to kind of
You have some of the funniest wedding DJ stories.
Yeah, that's
Just
got to
like,
be kind of wild.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
mean,
it's like,
I mean,
yeah.
the floor
like
is
just
open.
the love.
Yeah,
Yeah, like
I'm
I
interested
can't.
to
I don't know if you
hear.
can even like. I mean, I think I don't know. There's one about like some brides. It's always just people requesting fucking.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
if it's the one I think you're talking about, then I don't know. I'll try to condense it really quick. But basically,
No, yeah.
No.
Please, man. Hey,
Please,
perform.
spread your wings. Yeah.
okay,
We went late
man.
and made you sit on a fucking.
all right. This needs some Red Bull real quick. All right, so basically, I was doing this wedding, and there was a dance floor of probably like no exaggeration, probably like 70 something like that, and you know, it's not like a huge wedding, but it was like 70 something people on the dance floor at the time. So there's probably like 30 people standing around on the outside doing their thing. Of the 70, everyone's having a good time. I'm about 7 songs in.
Yeah.
Everyone's been having a great time. It's like, turn down for what? Like,
Yeah,
like
the
everyone's
classic.
having
Yeah.
fucking
the
fun.
shit out of this wedding.
Yeah.
Hey, people having a good
I'm
time.
ripping this wedding a
There's
new
only 30
one.
people on the outside.
Auntie Hazel's twerking and shit. Where 70 people are loving life.
100%. So I look out, even the bride and groom are doing their thing. So it's like they're not even being caught up in venue stuff. Like everyone's having fun. Suddenly this woman who I'm going to identify as 1.0 because she's Karen 1.0. 1.0 comes up to me and like the most red wine soaked breath. She just comes up to, this is like 7 songs in, and she goes, "No one's having fun." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "No one's having fun." And I was like, "Oh," and I'm actually very accommodating, so I was like, "Oh, is there is just like this? Is there something I could play for you? Is you know, like how can I get your night set right?
Yeah.
Let's do it." She goes, "No one's having fun." And I was like, "Okay, well, so I'm trying to do 100 things. DJ, people talking to me, take requests, whatever."
Yeah.
So I keep going with it. Later on in the night, this happens like 17 times. She keeps coming up like every song or something.
Yeah.
Having fun.
Just over her shoulder,
Yeah,
everybody's having the most fun you've ever seen.
I don't know if
Teeth
I
are getting progressively
yeah.
more purple.
when I talked about this, I don't know if like I don't know if when we first talked about a tie that like I sent you the clip of this, but there was like people with no shirts on and stuff. It's like it was a party. Like they were having fun. So
I've
like,
been to a few weddings and you never see
Tarps
that.
off.
Like that's a
Yeah.
fucking
Yes.
you're turning it up.
DJ a wedding.
People go
That's what I'm
tarps off.
trying to say.
It's a
I
good
didn't
time.
even play like shout like twist and shout it yet, and they were like already shirtless. And stuff.
They're already
It was a good
twisting and
time.
shouting.
You know, that's when
So
it
you're
gets
fucking
loose.
killer.
So I was having a good time, no exaggeration there. So I was like, okay, I'm trying to make it work. But like after like the 17th time, this woman kept coming up and saying like, "No one's having fun," and then she says, "You're never gonna work in this town again." And I was a North van at the time, and I was like, "Oh my god, dude! Like, okay, like I guess that's the worst thing you can threaten me with. Like, all right, fine, I won't do weddings in North van." You know, so okay, so what happens? So then she ends up coming up to me the next time, and I kind of just like shoulder her out in terms of like I'm not listening to this anymore. Like I've been very polite up to this point, so I was just like shoulder her out. She kind of huffs away, and she walks up to who I call 2.0, who's like a little more veteran, more older, more
knows how to
grizzled.
handle the
more grizzled.
situation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
no.
she could turn this shit into fucking Vietnam.
Dude,
They're down to
and
what?
I'm so glad this is like a visual medium for this podcast, because like the 2.0, like I said, 1.0 walk up to her, she kind of like gestures up and down like she's complaining, and then 2.0 looks at me and just like bolts right towards
Oh
me.
no.
2.0, now this must be like, I don't know how they're related to the bridal party or something, but they were like, they had a vested interest obviously in people having fun. So like this 2.0 comes up to me and like slams. Now they gave me this coffee table here. It was like just about a little bit bigger than this coffee table. So
For all
I
your shit.
Yeah, so I had like no room. So
Right.
I have a bunch of stuff. Plus it's like rental gear and everything. She like slams down her wine goblet.
Oh, goblet.
And I was like, and I just went
down
like
the
this.
bottle.
And I want to be very clear. I didn't say this mean. I didn't say this anything. It was exactly in this tone. I went, "Oh no! Oh, sorry, I can't have anyone put anything down here. I'm so sorry. If anything gets wet here, the party's over, and I can't be responsible for that." And she cuts me off as I'm saying that, and she just goes, "You do not speak to me. I am not working. You're working."
Oh my
Holy
god.
And I go, I was
2.0.
Yeah, this is not her first rodeo.
Oh my.
so I just gave her a little smile, and I was just like, "Okay, all right, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine."
Give the
Oh
dinero.
And
God.
2.0 walks away, and I was like, "Okay, there's no way that could get worse than that because like again, everyone else is having fun except these like 2 people.
Is there anybody that you could deal like? I mean, at a wedding situation, there's like you're not going to go up and interrupt. You know what I mean? Like
what do you do?
time
Yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
Right?
He's just
go
doing
up
his
to the
job.
bride,
Part-
be like, hey,
you
could
just
you
have
have
to
a
take
word
the
with
shit.
these
You
ladies?
literally just it's like
Yeah.
hosting a comedy
Sure.
show.
Yeah.
You just are
Yeah.
like the lightning rod for idiots,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so I was like,
Oh,
okay,
man.
I'm just taking it, whatever. I'm just being nice. I'm not going to ruin the day or whatever. And I just when I was like, I don't think this could get worse. Around midnight, 1.0 comes back. I hadn't seen her in a bit, and I was like, oh, okay, what's going to happen?
Puke. She's ready.
Dude,
She's back.
she walks up to me and she goes, turn the music off. And I was like, what? She goes, turn the music off. And I was like, why? Wait, what? Why would I? No, I'm like, first off, I'm contracted until like at least 2 a.m. to play. And I was like, well,
Yeah.
I wanna play more.
And
you know.
secondly, lady, I'm fading it down, if anything.
Like-
all right, I'm not a fucking pro here.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
turning
Exactly,
it off.
yeah.
I'm fading
Cutting
it.
it
I'm
off.
fading it
Yeah,
out.
how dare you?
I'm a fucking professional.
You're talking to.
She then proceeds to then like again just address me and be like God, no, turn it off. I want to make a speech.
Oh, no.
So I quick thinking on my feet. By the way, this is in between. Turn it down for what?
Yeah.
So I'm like still trying to mix and everything the whole time.
People are doing the worm topless.
Yeah.
all the fucking dance.
Everyone's having fun.
Time
But
for
this
my-
time, people are fucking each other.
Yeah.
It's great.
Again, I can't stress this next part how much fun people were having because I'm quick on my feet. I'm like, okay, I'll send her on a fool's errand. Okay, I was like, if you can get the bride to say that that's cool, then I'll go ahead and I'll do it. But you gotta like get her to make sure it's cool.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, there's no way she's gonna have the indecency to bother the bride like that.
No
She
of
walked
course.
right up to the
she is.
bride.
Yeah.
1.0 walks right up to the bride and immediately begins to like kind of gesture again to the table, pulls the bride by the hand, and the bride and the groom all come over to the table. So now I have the main people, the people paying me for this.
Here we go.
They come up and I was like, is that what you want? And they kind of roll their eyes and they're like, yeah, I guess so. Anyway, this 1.0, I have to slowly fade down the music like a pro. So slowly fade down the music, and then 1.0 proceeds to give like about a 6 to 7 minute speech
Oh, Jesus
of just
Christ.
like increasingly emotionally unstable. Like, and like it went to this point where she was like, she's like,
bought another cat.
you have to know you're the best guy, and you guys are the best couple, and I can't believe it.
Oh, no.
Like it was just getting worse and worse, and so I'm like, oh my God, I've never regretted not having the Oscar wrap it up music ever so bad. In my
That's
pool.
in the repertoire now.
That would have been amazing. Just wrap it up,
Just
you know.
fucking-
I didn't have it, so what I did next best was I was like, okay, I loaded up Jesse's Girl. And I thought that was
Yeah, absolutely.
because a lot of her speech was directed to the groom, which was kind of weird.
Yeah, that is.
So I was like, all right. Anyway, that music fires
This
back
is all
up.
adding up now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's wasted at
That
this
rules
guy she
pretty
used to
hard.
fuck's wedding.
Saying no one's having fun. Yeah.
Just came alone.
Bitch, you're not having fun.
Oh, that's
It was
awesome.
it was such a good time. It was just like whatever, but like yeah, she ended up going away and more nonsense and shenanigans. But that basically that's
Yeah.
that's,
Wow.
that's the
That's what
crux
you're
of
doing.
it.
That is
That's
being
wild,
a wedding
yeah.
DJ.
Leave it on the
Oh,
high
yeah.
point.
That's so fucking
Oh,
gold,
man.
man.
There. Sorry, that was I'm trying
No,
to
but
condense
it's-
that.
well, it's
No,
commit-
no,
no, dude,
that
that
was
was
a great
awesome.
story. We're going to a wedding next weekend, so I'm excited for some shenanigans there.
Yeah,
Hopefully, I'm not.
I
that
love
lady
a
yet.
public thing like that when you pick a pony. You know what I mean? You're
yeah.
like, who's gonna fuck this up, or who's gonna try to at least?
It's walking
And
into
everyone will
it,
pick
yeah.
like the uncle with the rose-colored
Oh,
glasses.
yeah.
I'm like, no, they're a vet.
Oh, yeah.
He's been in his first fucking
He
shit
might
show.
say
It's
something
for-
wild, but he's not going to
He's,
be the
it's
one.
not
who
he's
gonna
does
gonna
it.
drink more than
disrupt
anyone, but he's gonna handle it the best of
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah.
You gotta go for a 1.0 or and it
100%.
won't be
It's
2.0
always
either.
middle-aged
man. You gotta
lady.
find that 1.0.
Yeah, with the red wine, that's key too.
Oh yeah. Start seeing
Yeah.
that fucking
Yeah,
that
when the
lipstick get
lips start
extended a
going.
little bit
Right.
more. bar. Yeah. That's a good time.
It always starts in the inners, the inside of the lips, and then it expands out. Yeah.
See, I'm going to this wedding in like the perfect prime position where like I don't have any close ties to the bride or groom or anything like that. I'm the bridesmaid's boyfriend. So I'm showing up there. Don't have to do fuck all. You know what I mean? And like I'm just going to kind of hit the bar.
You're living
Oh,
large.
so
You're
you're
sitting
in
at
the
the
party.
good
Yeah,
spot,
so
right?
Yeah,
the
dude, I got a
wedding
nice
party.
new
Yeah.
fucking gray
Yeah.
suit. Now I'm thinking here, do you show up no tie, tiki shirt under the suit, this guy came to party vibe?
Interesting.
You're at the table though, right? You're at the big table.
So what they're doing like the sweetheart table, and then it's the groomsmen at one table beside them and the bridesmaids at the other. So we're beside them. But not
So you're
like-
with all their
Yeah, but I've
fucking
already
people?
gotten the okay because they're both very chill. I was like, just so you know, like this is what Johnny's thinking of doing. Like,
I mean,
how do
I
you
kinda
feel about a
got-
Hawaiian shirt? And they're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
I've transferred from Hawaiian to tiki now because I'm a tiki
Yeah.
person now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I went to a tiki bar like Frankie's.
yeah.
It's legit. It's in Vegas, open 24 hours a day. I was with the.
Why do fucking punk rockers always get into tiki bars? I
Man,
feel like
fucking
I just
awesome.
so they're that.
we
They
have
are-
a crew
They
of
are a
misfits.
good time.
We have a crew of misfits, and that's the thing. So we're hanging out and stuff like that. We
You gotta-
became friends with the girl who was supposed to get married down there. I probably shouldn't put this out on the internet or whatever, but the guy it didn't end up happening. But she came alone and decided to, you know what I mean, to party it out. And we took her into the crew like she's one of our own, right? And she had she's a tiki like competition bartender. So she goes, there's this
Wow.
24-hour like world famous tiki joint that's down the way. And when somebody says this is a spirit forward cocktail, it's just a fancy way of saying
Yeah.
it's just a
a
whole
lot of
glass
booze.
A lot of booze.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just found out that I'm at like a dark bar, you know what I mean? Cool shit on the walls and stuff like
Yeah.
that. I've been a tiki guy the whole time and I had no idea.
Love a tiki.
Dude,
bar.
Oh, yeah.
We're tiki people.
Oh yeah,
tiki people.
Tiki lifestyle is such a crazy thing. Like I have like tiki mugs from places I've been around, and
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know. There's something about I personally really enjoy drinking Jack Daniels in like dark places. I don't
Buddy,
know.
did we just become
Like,
best friends?
yeah.
Yeah.
like both like location and emotional places.
I'm picking up.
Yeah,
what you're
dark
putting
plate.
down.
We get it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
I'm all
like,
happy now. I can go 100% up
As I
right
drink
to
this
100%.
Corona Zero, not a
Yeah,
sponsor.
First non-alcoholic beer I'm drinking on this show, and it's not.
yeah,
bad.
are those good?
They're-
Sunbrew.
dude, they're lovely.
Got vitamin D in it.
They're lovely.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
But sorry,
but-
second
oh, there you
question.
go. They're
Where the
good
fuck
for
do you
you.
get a tiki shirt in Vancouver? I can't find. I don't shop
Well,
at
that's
these
a good
places.
question.
I
I've
only
had a
own
lot of,
black t-shirts.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we really good. Good coordinate everybody here. Good work, gang.
I think like the best place you could, and I'm not even kidding, is like go on Etsy and like find some like total artisanal they
Yeah.
make it for you, and like you could even be
I
like
mean, we're leaving in a week.
Yeah, we
You
were
got
looking at
time.
some of
Turnaround on
those.
Etsy.
Dude, are you kidding me?
They can be kind of well, it depends on the seller, but it can take kind of a long time sometimes.
Can be, yeah.
Okay.
Depends,
Yeah, yeah.
If it's
Because I was
like-
How much
looking
you
at
want
some-
to pay for shipping, my friend? Depends
Yeah,
how much
I
you
was
want to pay for
thinking
that
about
tiki shirt. Yeah.
Well,
I'm sure
yeah.
you can have
I'll
like
get you one by noon
like hazard
with nail
pay.
polish.
Now
Yeah.
we're talking.
What
I
about
should
you,
wear a
lad?
blue dress, so I kind of got to go a little bit bluer. I got the red beard, not happy about it, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like if you were like, hey, take the cover art from Weezer's Blue album and make me a tiki shirt, they'd be like, okay, like whatever you need. Like,
There's something
That'd be
because like
pretty
the
sick.
Descendants on the
Jaggy
Descendants
just got
fucking-
very
No,
excited for that tiki shirt.
this is acceptable. But there's like a fucking Descendants are making all kinds of cool shit right now, and you can get matching tiki shorts and shirt with the little logo, like little Milo creeping
Yeah.
around all over the thing. So sick, not an XL. So you know, what
I feel
mean?
like
missed out.
I feel like Jim, like Phillips made a lot of tiki shit too, like along with the slasher design,
Yeah.
all,
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
old Santa Cruz tiki kind of vibes.
I've been
Yeah.
seeing more and more dudes at shows rocking Hawaiian gear like in groups. Like it's
Yeah,
kinda-
yeah, there is a
like
group.
instead of doing
Common
like
I gotta be
I
the
don't know.
open shirt
What we're-
Yeah.
underneath
Yeah.
is a very thing. I'm trying to
Yeah.
switch it up because I feel like
I swear, like the first
Felt like
week
did last
that it
week,
was
saying.
that it was hot here, I walked into a show at Holy Chow, and every single like guy comic was wearing a fucking Hawaiian shirt. Like
Yeah.
that's the shirt of the summer.
he's wacky and zany.
Yeah, yeah,
ooh, I bet he's got props.
I
me
love it
too.
when you see somebody really trying. Like they probably thought about it for, you know what I mean, a good long while before they put it on.
Yeah.
Then to get to the bar and all your buddies are wearing the
yeah.
same
I
shit.
kept
is
looking at it in the mirror before you left. You're like, no,
I don't know if
I'm
this
gonna
is
do it.
me,
I'm
man.
gonna
I don't know if
I'm
this
gonna
Everyone's
keep it
wearing
on.
the white shirt with the open whatever
Yeah.
shirt. I feel like you did this last year. I feel like I called it.
You started the Grease movement with that thing.
Dude,
Yeah,
oh
with the
man, are you
chain.
kidding me?
Yeah.
I was race for pig slips last summer.
Yeah.
Fucking easy there, Rizzo. With
Yeah.
Oh, no
Yeah.
shit.
Man,
Yeah.
me and
Fucking
Danny
chain
Zuko were
and the
fucking
white
going around
beater.
Dead Man's Curve. It was
Well,
fucking
it's all
sick.
funny too that they're all like 5 feet tall and young looking and shit. So like shaving points on high school basketball or something. Like, what do you guys like?
Yeah, exactly.
The most low rent mafia right now. I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm super into it.
you know, one thing about like, you know, earlier we were talking about like podcasts and stuff. It was like I used to host this show called Intergalactic Interviews, and the type of show it was like an entertainment podcast that you just had personalities within it. So I've always felt like weirdly comedy adjacent with like comedians. Like a lot of my close friends are comedians or former comedians, and they have such a I have such a weird affinity when I like speak to a comic. I go, oh, okay, like I feel like I get where you come from almost immediately. It's a weird thing, this duality between musicianship and comedy.
Yeah.
There is
Yeah.
a lot of crossover there, like, yeah, between like musicians and comedians. Like, there's so much. Like, I mean, just to be the type of person to pursue like a kind of weird career like that,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
there's got to be a lot of.
I think there's like a lot of like, I know for me, it's kind of like longing and stuff. Cause I'll talk to like a lot of my buddies in bands and shit. They're like, it's so cool that you do music and stuff. Like, and I'm thinking to myself, like, you have so much charisma. You know what I mean? Like, you could definitely do it. But I guess like, I don't know, to them, like the writing the jokes thing is different because all I'd want to do is be in a punk band. But like, I
Yeah.
just don't have the fucking patience to learn how to play a guitar poorly. It's the most
Oh,
ridiculous
dude.
thing. And I fucking own one and I have for years. But like, it's all these,
Three.
I think that's, 3.
They take up space.
Oh yeah, they do. That's why we're moving, so I don't have to work so hard. I can start fucking actually
Jackie
learning
needs
how
more
to do
room
this
for her
thing. I'm
roach.
getting lessons.
Jackie needs
I'm
more room
getting
for her
lessons.
roach clips for fucking grade 9.
Yeah,
You're
come on.
taking up space.
There's some problems at the house right now. Okay, it is what it is. Not enough space, too much shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I think like that crossover or whatever is like is super strong. Anybody that's like weird enough to kind of say fuck it and like
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
pursue something that they really want to do and like past the level of just like in your room or whatever. I think.
Yeah, you know, I think that as entertainers, we all have this weird like look at me disease that weirdly counter,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
like it weirdly like contrasts with like if you're doing it right, it should not be like look at me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there's this inherent like I have something I feel like I need to share with the
Totally.
world, and then you know, in comedy, it's I truly envy aspects of comedy and comedians' careers, and that like you like Jonny, you mentioned earlier. Oh, look what you can do when you don't have to have a whole band lineup and
Oh my
labels
God,
and all
yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like well, comedians. I love the fact you don't have to lug any gear except
all.
just like
Yeah.
you know what
Yeah,
you
I'm
want
not
to
going
wear.
long
Show up
way
with a
to
notebook.
rent it.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget the notebook.
Yeah,
yeah, and we're still all right.
yeah. That
There's a cocktail
aspect.
napkin around.
Yeah, no, there's
Yeah.
no load in or fucking sound check or
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
Like it is pretty. It's prime in that sense for sure.
I just love the idea that like you could be on vacation and not planning on doing any time at all, and then find a spot. And you
Oh,
do
that's
10,
Yeah,
that's
that's
fucking
always
fun.
fun.
Thing.
Like,
go
like,
places that
absolutely,
you
yeah.
stay.
that's you always, you know, I always found that the fact that you have your instrument with you all the time, that's like a beautiful thing. There's, you know, this by the way, I I should admit right now, because I used to do this podcast, Intergalactic Interviews. When I guest on other people's podcasts, I inevitably end up start like interviewing the other people.
Please,
because
yeah.
You were talking
I
about the
fucking-
most narcissistic pieces of shit. We don't
Yeah,
take
you're
any
like,
questions.
ask me questions about myself.
Yeah.
because I just always end up.
You want to know what my dad?
Yeah,
That's not much to know.
the world does. That's
What
the most
dad?
questions that we get
Yeah.
asked. Is like, does Ty really not have a dad? And are you fucking animals?
I do have a question though to pose to the group. You can each answer in your own
Sure.
order, whatever. But like, have you ever had like a friend that you've tried out to be friends with? Have you ever had a friend like that you're like,
That have become a friend of mine. Where you like
yeah, either or, like that didn't work out or it did work out? Like
definitely had it not work out.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where you like you
What
have a
happened?
little-
What happened?
I don't know. It just didn't work out. What can you say? It's like I was like a friend of a friend kind of thing. And I was like, all right, are we all going to start doing this? And then you end up just hanging out. I don't know. It wasn't
Sure.
like
Because like I had a friend once in high school that like he was a nice dude, but like his mom was a teacher, and I didn't get along with faculty. And
Yeah, it's a little too close. If your dad's a cop, I
yeah,
don't know if we can.
exactly. Yeah, and I just always felt like scrutinized whenever I was over at like his place or whatever. So it didn't work out. But like I tried, and then that feeling of like, oh my god, am I like a bad person because I'm not like making the effort to like stuff like that fuels a lot of say music choices I make. Like I think of long-term memories and past like that. I'm like trying to make a friend. Like when I think about like I haven't slept in days. If you haven't checked it out, check it out right now.
You should do that.
Available right
The
now.
link is below.
Available on
we'll put the link below.
God damn it.
if you like if you the background on that is like I straight up was diagnosed with some mental health stuff 4 years ago, and it's hard to talk about even now, but like when I went into it, all the med switches and everything like that was like keeping me up for like days, and I was like already experiencing that from the effects of the diagnosis. So I was having like just large periods of time in my life where I felt like it was just all blurring together. And so some of the energy of that song is like me trying to show that or capture that. So that's why it kind of crescendos into that final part where it's just like it's very super, like around the 2 minute mark or something. It just kind of really takes off. That's the background on that.
Right.
But what I was gonna ask was like, what is your favorite bit you do that you feel doesn't get the love it deserves right now?
Oh my
geez.
goodness. Jazzy, do you want to take it?
Because that song for me is like, I'm so happy it's out right now because like I've had it in the vault for like a little bit as I've been building it, and like for me it's like I wanted it to be the thing that people like. So so slowly but surely right now it's taking off. But I like to know what is the best bit that you feel like you do that you don't feel like gets enough love right now.
So there's a few. I have about like 10 minutes on Survivor that doesn't often hit. It's for a very specific audience.
It hits hard.
It does, and that it is my most viewed and most liked clip that I've ever posted. So there is an audience out there. It's just no one who I perform to in person. But so
they told me be niche, and so I went.
Well, it was the thing. So I posted the clip, and then it got like, it's still getting so many likes and stuff. So I was like, I need to lean into this and write more Survivor material, and that did not go well at all.
The Lower Mainland Nielsen ratings for Survivor way down.
But so there's one which has kind of come full circle, where it's like for a long time I was like, I don't think that this is working as well as it should. Then now it's kind of come to the other side, and it started to hit a lot more, which is the Blue Man Group stuff.
Blue Man Group's
great right now. Which is it's basically about when I was a kid, my family, we went to Blue Man Group a lot.
Wow.
like multiple countries and all this.
How many times?
I don't know. I can't count. Like
that's like way too many times.
It's insane.
Dude, we see them in like different countries and different cities, and like there was one time, because I'm from the island. There's one time we had tickets to see Blue Man Group for like the 50th time, and then the Malahat was shut down. There was an accident, and so we couldn't get to Victoria. And so my dad, we then drove back to Mill Bay, and you can actually take a boat like across the bay to Victoria. And so he was going up to people in the marina and trying to like offer them money to drive us in their boat across to Victoria to see the same show that we had seen like 100 times.
And we got to get to Blue Man.
They got new pipes.
I think they're gonna do Crazy Train.
They're even bluer this time.
But there was
double the blue.
When I first started
Blue
doing
Man
it,
2, even bluer.
when I first started doing it, it would get like laughs or whatever, but it wasn't like hitting super hard as I thought it should, because I think it's pretty funny. But then like within the last like couple weeks, there was one show where everyone was eating shit and everyone was coming out being like, nothing's hitting, can't figure them out. I was seeing comedians who are way better comedians than me and who I look up to just bombing so hard. And so I went in assuming that I was about to eat shit. And then I did the Blue Man shit, and it was like that was what the crowd had been waiting
Weird,
for.
right?
Yeah.
And there were like
could never call
comedians. Yeah, there are comedians in there who I look up to, and afterwards they were like, "Man, like that Blue Man shit is really good."
There you
kind of
go.
thing. Yeah, and so.
So it's the
after
Blue
that-
Man stuff like that you feel like is like you would wish they would get like a little bit more love. Like,
Yeah, well, that's the kind of the thing with comedy is that you'll have, I mean, sometimes you'll have bits like that and they just stay like that and you should abandon them, like some of my Survivor material. But then you have bits where it's
cold,
like,
Jerry.
yeah, at first you're like, I feel like I really think this is funny, but it's not getting what it should. And then if you stick with it, then you can kind of see that full circle moment where it does start getting like the reaction that it should. Like you just find a way for it to click, but you don't even know like what it is you're doing different that's like making it hit or whatever. But yeah, so that's kind of the cool thing with comedy is that a lot of times those bits then do go on to become like your best bits. You know?
I firmly believe in the concept of steel sharpens steel, iron sharpens iron. Like like I really think like for every dick I've eaten on stage, you know, it's just been creating like a more powerful monster out there trying to make something better and better, you know.
Absolutely. Like I mean, just like they're trying not to take the same L twice, right? Like so like there's reasons that you know like they're bombed for like I walked into like House of Comedy and the entire audience is like old and I remember thinking, oh, they're gonna hate me, and they fucking did. You know? Because I went in with that attitude like this wasn't my audience or whatever, right? You know what I mean? And that will never happen again, right? Because it's a matter of like how do I get them?
Attitude,
like,
percent, yeah, because you're working, especially when you start in a hole like that and you're like, fuck, you like
exactly right. I walked in here being like, this is going to be some heavy lifting, and they were just sitting at their tables enjoying themselves and stuff like that, just waiting for a show, and it was me that didn't bring the shit, right?
Yeah.
So, like,
and comedy is so much about first impressions like that. Like if you come out and off the bat your energy's off and they're not into you from the top, then they're like in their minds they're pre-programmed not to like whatever you say.
Yeah, because they'd be like, oh, I fucking hate the Pittsburgh Pirates. And you're
you're already fucking on a climb up the.
You're like, it's the hat I wore tonight. You're like, well, fuck you.
Well, that's the thing. It's like just being. You can't just be.
That's the hat I wear every night.
I was hanging out. I was fucking hanging out in the States, and like I was seeing friends that I haven't seen in a fucking long time. And after the hey, how have you been? And blah 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 blah. The first question I get is like, what the fuck is with the Pirates hat?
Because I don't know if that's like the equivalent of wearing like a fucking I don't know like a. What the fuck would be like an Ottawa Rough Riders hat or something like that?
Yeah, you're rocking Alouettes gear. Like, why?
Yeah, I feel like
because I have a red beard and the yellow looks good. You highlight your fucking attributes.
Dude, I think you might have something here though. Rocking CFL teams is good. Yeah,
I mean,
not a bad idea.
Affordable merch.
Yeah.
Affordable merch. Yeah.
Ty, do you have a bit that you feel like doesn't get the love it deserves?
Yeah, I mean a lot.
Have you seen Tyzak?
Yeah. How much time do you have?
Wow. Front to back, I'd say there's 20, 25 minutes there. Yeah, some of the like the latest music shit has been like that. Oh man, I'm trying to fucking think now. I do have some new date shit. Just some like tags on stuff that I'm like, these should just be. Because they have before, and like I can't quite figure it out. But then like it's weird because you literally like flip two words around sometimes, and then it's like, oh, that's what did it. And then you like and I don't know what it is, whether it's the confidence of like, oh, it's because I flipped these two dumbass words together that got this laugh, and now I'm saying it more confidently. So then then it works.
No, it's like picking a lock. It's those little tumblers that you notch up and down until you get it. Like I don't know. Like
I would compare it to like it's like because I do think about comedy very musically too, about like this, just similar experiences too throughout it, and blah, 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 when people get all shitty about the scene, and I'm like, oh yeah, I went through this with music with bands. It's like you guys are a bunch of pussies. Like, suck it up. I don't know. People get weird. It's like you're just trying to plug in different things. It's like trying to look for it's like when you're filtered through snares.
Yes.
You're like, no, not quite. Like no, maybe this, and then you find that one fucking tone or that whatever it is, pedal, whatever it is, to really like make that joke or make that track or whatever you're doing really really pop.
Yeah, you can even say like the exact same thing, but just with like a different emphasis or different intonation, or like
Totally.
you pause somewhere
Yeah,
or whatever.
totally.
And
I'm still so new at it, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Sometimes I find that frustrating because like I know what doing something like guitar or something like that for like 20 plus years is like. It's easier for me to find that tone or whatever it
Yeah.
is because I'm like, oh, I've looked for that so many times or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So with comedy, I'm like, I don't have that
Exactly.
skill yet,
Yeah.
like to
That right
you're
there.
4 years into it. So
Definitely.
it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Like see like that right there for my own production. I've always like my own journey has been more along the lines of like, okay, here's an idea, I have it in my head, I'm going to try and make it as close to it as possible. It hasn't been until like say the last 5 years or something like that like I actually had the ability to do like what I would call, I don't know, like as near identical to it as possible. Like when you hear I haven't slept in days.
Available.
Yeah.
everywhere.
Link
platforms.
below.
Search Chatterless, check it out. If you hear that, it's like that's exactly how I wanted that to sound. That's exactly there wasn't like any part of that where I was like, okay, this is as close as I can get it based on my own skill set or something. It's like, no, that's exactly how I want to do it. I haven't been able to say that until like the last 5 years, and I've been
That's
producing for 20 fucking years. So
Oh, yeah.
Right.
you know,
It's so precise. Listening to this track, like I wanted to ask you questions about just how the drums are like laid down in it in general. As first, if you haven't listened to it, you should. It's very drum kind of like
Oh, yeah.
kind of heavy.
Yeah.
It's cool because it sounds so it's like flowy, but the drums also sound so like chopped up, kind of.
yeah, it's well, I mean,
I don't know how to explain it. It's I don't know. I'm
part of
curious to how you
taking
got it.
like the way that the drums are like, you know, because you know there's samples in there and everything like that. The way that those drums are selected and the way I put them together is like it's very much say part of like say taking bits in comedy that you're working on previously and then adding just some of that energy into your new bits where you're like, oh, this worked with this one, this didn't really work with this one, but I know how to make this one work next time. Like that's kind of how I would make the song in general. So it's more about the sounds picked around the drums
right.
than maybe the drum. Like
Yeah.
I'm sure that they're the most pronounced thing in the record to you,
But
like
but there's so many things. There's so many things happening.
yeah, like it's really like, you know, not to peel back the onion layers a bit, but like it's some of the bass work in the song is so there's a drone to it that is almost kind of like you don't even like, maybe you'll notice next time or whatever, but like if you listen to it, it drones in a way that it breathes with the drums so that you have room for head nodding. I don't know how else to explain it. It's hard to explain that, but like, but yeah, like it's sound selection that like really has added itself to my own.
Nothing
repertoire.
sounds out of place, and it all sounds like it's in the same room.
That's and then like
Which is
mixing it
fucking
is like a
insane.
motherfucker. Like
Yeah.
that's what takes the longest. Like I'm a huge Christopher Hitchens fan. He's you know rest his soul. He's a brilliant author, and he used to always talk about like, yeah, I would write fucked up and I would edit sober, and so this time I would write fucked up and then I would mix fucked up.
Well,
And-
yeah. Well, you have like the body, like that's like Christopher Hitchens could write a book fucking faster
Fuck,
than
yeah.
I could read one. You know what I
Yeah.
mean, right? Like that was it definitely speaks to the amount you're putting out.
Are we best friends?
Let's go hitch slap a motherfucker
Yeah,
at the
no
bar and
shit.
tell him.
I'll excuse myself.
Do you remember how I was like, have you ever tried to be friends with someone and maybe it didn't work out?
I was
That's
thinking
not
about
this.
that.
I don't think
Yeah,
that's that. Yeah,
that's
dude,
not.
no.
Yeah, that's not what's happening here.
Everyone's having a good time.
No one's having fun.
Nah, I was having fun.
Having fun.
No, I feel like we could definitely get into some trouble together, my friend.
like
It will
that.
happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely will.
Fuck yeah. I've also been like, I don't know about you guys, but ever since the pandemic ended, I've been kind of like trying to find like my next thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? You know what
Like
talking
I'm
about?
done baking bread.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
only so much sourdough that can exist. in
Yeah.
the world.
Yeah.
Like,
My starter's all gone.
Yeah.
It took away music for me. So if it's not comedy, then I just like to, like go see bands or whatever. It's like my dad started doing it when I was a kid, taking me and stuff. And now I'm just like, it's like that favorite thing. So once that kind of came back, like now, it's not having the excuse because we're always so busy and shit. It's a good problem to have is to be booked on Fridays and Saturdays, but I still have to make it to a show and see it or something like that.
We've been talking about this recently, just in all of our lives. But it's like trying to make a little more, especially when it's fucking nice out. Like there is something like I love doing 25 plus shows in a fucking month.
Yeah,
But it's
absolutely.
like
you're like your cover drops
over
every
and
month. They're
over
like,
and over though. It's like
Sometimes
Yeah,
too
gotta
many
fucking-
returns,
I
right?
Exactly.
I like literally just took this like week kind of like and it's like the amount of shit you come up with just because you're like going on hikes and doing a bunch of other shit. It's like
Yeah.
Well,
you're
it can-
writing a shit ton more. You got to go live a fucking little bit.
It can take
Exactly.
away when you're doing so much, and then for me, it gets to a point where I dread going to these shows,
Yeah.
and I'm not like enjoying.
That's
these
exactly
sets.
it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
so,
not fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and so trying to find that balance where like you have time to fucking like rest and actually have like your own life outside of
Yes.
comedy, while still going up enough times in a week to not feel like rusty.
Are you a guy that has to work with? You're like, do you set deadlines for yourself?
Oh, all the time.
'Cause otherwise, shit's not getting
Yeah.
done.
So like every day I have a deadline of like you have to play today. Like
Yeah.
Like sometimes I don't actually what I do is to avoid writer's block or anything like that. What I do is I'll say you don't have to write anything, but you have to sit there. And then just sitting there usually prompts me to be like, okay, I may as well just maybe put some drums
that you're
together
here.
or
Right,
something.
yeah.
Are we talking a certain time limit here?
Usually I'll say I have to sit there for like at least 30 minutes kind of thing. Yeah. But most of the time I don't need that. Usually it's like I can't fucking wait to go finish what I'm doing to go do the next thing.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. You start setting that pattern.
Yeah.
It's good. I like that.
Yeah.
Do you have like do you guys have an editing process for your comedy where like you know this is a great bit, it's 10 minutes of Survivor stuff, but you're like maybe this would be 5 minutes if you like really like
a lot of it is
Yeah, just
taking
cut-
shit
cutting
out.
that fat.
Yeah,
I do a lot of storytelling and stuff, so a lot of
Story
it is
time
like
DeVito over
it's
here.
fucking Ty's fucking hilarious. We're outside of a bar, and I'm describing how my set went or whatever, and I realized
Johnny
I
always
was
says
going
he's got to
to
land the plane.
I gotta land the plane and get out of here, kind of thing. And Ty's like, "You're the only comic I've ever seen that says I have to land the plane and you circled the airport 3 more times."
There's a couple flybys.
Yeah, right. So
Fucking
so
maverick.
definitely like a lot of editing kind of comes into it. And
like
I think
trimming
that,
the fat.
yeah, and like in the sense, like and with your last question, is stuff that like is not getting a lot of the love or whatever that it should. I think that's like up to me to make it, to find the way to make it pop. Because I have a lot of these like a lot of these stories. But as Tim Williams says, if it's a long walk for a short drink of water, then it's it's not a whole lot, right? The idea is to keep it building, right? I think that
That's the
some
most
of this
fucking
stuff.
Tim Williams
It's the
shit
greatest
I've ever
fucking-
heard.
Walk for a
This
short
is like
drink
a
of
comment
water.
from Texas.
That was a long walk for a short drink of water.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
keeps moving on. He's
So
fucking great.
so great.
But I think that's kind
I
of
love
like
sayings like
you know
that,
what I mean?
man.
That's
Yeah.
definitely like a little bit up to me to decide. Like in my head, everything is going to be awesome, but then you need to come to the realization that like you don't have the 25 minutes for them to establish that they like you and for you to fuck around and just be talking shit. Because I've gotten to this point now where I'm more comfortable and like I feel like doing better with much longer sets than I am with like with that tight 5 that you started with. But that's kind of the fucking like the root of everything, and you really have to like focus on that, because like if that like premise is there, then you should be able to stretch that 5 minutes out as long as you want. But like that core of it should be funny. So I should edit a whole lot more.
It's
And I'm
hard.
going to.
If you have like 20 minutes, then you can tell like these long stories and have periods where you're building things up. And so there's not any laughter because you're building up to like a huge laugh. And then in the course of 20 minutes, you have moments like that and it's a great set. But if you have like a 7-minute set and 4 minutes of it is like building up to a big laugh, then you come off stage and you're like, that felt like it sucked. Because most of the time.
Half of the time I'm up here. Is fucking-
See, that's it.
So a
It's
lot of people will give
percentages.
you like, and like the compliments are
Percentage,
interesting because it's like I can, you can keep their attention and you tell the story well and all that stuff. But the idea is like jokes per minute, right? And you kind of want to like, or laughs, and you want to like, you want to pepper that long story in and still make it, a bucket of laughs the whole way on the journey.
Yeah,
Right?
actually, Johnny, I saw you perform like a month or two ago, and you're hosting at House of Comedy here in the Lower Mainland, and you did a really good job.
I
man.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that was really funny. It was good, like to the point that I saw you up there, and then it wasn't until later that I put it together on the Show Me Yours podcast.
that's
I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh Ty, okay, wait.
That show was like fucking like really awesome for me because I didn't know like how it was going and like, you know, it's like it's interesting to gauge it, especially with like House Comedy, the way that the if it's not completely packed out, then
Like
the
Sunday
you know
shows
like
or-
the laughter can kind of like, you know, vanish before it gets there. So I was wondering how I did. I knew that everything was going well enough, and then I was in the bathroom after the show, and there was just two guys taking a piss, and I heard like, you know, I actually like that first guy the best.
Yeah,
And when you're taking a dump after a show, the greatest thing in the world.
Proud of himself.
Absolutely. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm in
"Oh,
a public
wonder how that
washroom
went."
taking a shit.
Yeah. And then they're like, yeah, he was good or whatever. And that's the best. If I could just be a fly on the wall in the bathroom after a show, is like, because then I think that's like the most honest gauge that you'll ever get.
Oh,
for your
that's-
comedy.
Yeah.
that's
Other
the
than like,
best.
hey, you did great when somebody's on their way out the door or whatever. It's-
dude.
Yeah.
No, the tier ranking of excellent feedback when you're like, okay, it's feedback from, in my opinion, peers.
Yeah.
Like when your
Sure.
peers are like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
holy fuck, this is
Yeah.
amazing, whatever. But then I said gosh and fuck all in the same. Like,
Oh, golly.
gosh.
Yeah, he really. Yeah.
Oh golly, that was
Yeah.
fucking incredible.
Jeez whiz, this piece of shit really balances it out.
That there's that tier of like that, and then there's like, you know, like friends, whatever. But it's that outside like third tier of like total strangers that just you know they don't owe you anything. That's
Yeah.
what I
That's
love about
always the best.
YouTube in terms of like I know this is fucking crazy to say this, but and this is probably, I hope this doesn't ruin this, but I've had overwhelmingly positive comments on YouTube.
Knock on
which-
wood, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Hey.
my
Well, bully for you.
Stay tuned for this
I
is
just-
not Jackie 1 2 3 4 leaving
Yeah.
some vicious
like-
vitriolic comments on your YouTube.
Did the Show Me Yours crew just make up a whole bunch of fake accounts?
This is not Johnny. This is not Johnny. This is definitely not Ty.
that
This is
feeling though.
Ty's dad.
Ty's dad out here talking shit.
Yeah, that is just Andy Boissonneau.
Good times.
Yeah.
Well, that fucking feeling though of like you don't know this person at all. They don't owe you anything, and then they still have something kind to say. Like especially in today's day and age, it just feels so fucking awesome. It is like the post bathroom like version.
100%.
Totally.
Yeah,
Because
especially
that
the
YouTube
fucking
comments
internet,
would
dude.
be in the bathroom.
cool.
Oh,
Coolest
it
shit.
is the
Yeah.
bathroom of the internet. It's like,
It is,
well,
yeah.
Reddit is, but
So I
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm extremely fortunate for that. Like I know like that's not the norm, but
Yeah.
like fuck yeah.
When we go to a show last night, there was just like a fellow member of the punk community. I mean, he's got a mohawk. He's hard to listen. It's hard to miss. Shout out to Lance.
Yeah.
Fucking
Oh, I know
great dude.
Lance.
We just walked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
just
good guy.
walked into a show last night, and he was just like, "Hey, I've been listening to the show, blah blah blah, or whatever," right? And just gave us some props and shit. It's the coolest
Yeah.
goddamn thing.
It's awesome.
Because like I know Lance from being like on that side of the pit when I'm over here, but now Lance is a homie.
Yeah.
So,
No,
which
that's
is the best
dope.
thing ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a dope dude. I met him at Side Hustle. Rest in peace to that.
Oh,
Rest in
yeah.
peace. Shout out to Sparling.
shout out, Alex Bond.
Yeah.
What is this?
Goddamn. I ashed on myself at the beginning of this podcast, and I've been acting like I haven't, and so when you offer that to me now, I'm like, should I just ash on myself twice?
Black shorts with a badge.
It's the Vulnerability Podcast. And here we are.
I have to come clean about this. Yeah.
We appreciate all aspects of life.
Yeah.
So if it comes up, it comes out over here.
Well,
Yeah.
okay. Well, here's the thing. I've recently entered into a possible arrangement to get a radio show.
Very
And-
cool.
Oh, that's
Hell yeah.
cool.
And this would be itching that scratch I have for podcasts, which I've been doing for a long time. Like we did like 175 episodes of Intergalactic Interviews, and
That's awesome.
That's
Yeah,
unreal.
that's great.
well, it out loud, it's like holy fuck, it's a lot of time. That's
Yeah.
like that's just what I think in my head. But like
Yeah.
when I think about the radio show, oh my god,
Yeah.
I could just show up and do the show. That would be the sickest fucking thing.
Be amazing if this turned
Yeah.
into like
Yeah.
the job or whatever, like
Yeah.
the main thing. That would be fucking incredible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Radio was like that would be cool. I think there's still like it still exists. I still listen to the Bonfire. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
still like radio can come back.
We have a
I'm like-
couple friends who are in radio who are comedians, and it seems just like the sweetest gig ever.
It's just
Yeah.
like, I mean,
They're both fucking
And they're both
murderers,
so
too.
funny
Yeah.
too. Yeah, you can
Yeah, you
really
have to be,
tell
man.
that they have so much practice just
Yeah.
like talking, you know?
Yeah.
Like they never
Yeah.
flounder on stage.
see
like,
that
yeah.
right there. That's what I'm talking about. Keeping everything sharp, steel sharp and steel.
100%.
Yeah.
Like I love the verbal jujitsu of a podcast. It makes me feel good to know that there's like certain elements and angles that will never change, and then certain things that are totally wild every different. Like it's different every time. Like I love this dynamic, the way you guys have it. I love that you guys have guests and then not guests. Like that's a big part for me as a listener when I listen to podcasts. I'm like, what is the vibe of the like? What's the ambiance of the room when there is no guest there? Is it fucking
100%.
chill, or is everyone just on their phones? Like,
Yeah.
you guys are legitimately friends and
Oh,
having
yeah.
fun and like, I don't know. It's cool to be involved in the current podcast scene and not at the same time and be like
Totally.
like far away. Like again, just being a guest, super fucking fun. Running your podcast, holy fuck! I don't know if
I
I'm
mean,
down
Jackie
for
does a
that
lot of
either.
heavy lifting for us. So
He really
Yeah.
does.
Well,
Me and Johnny basically just show up. I live here.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like with the episodes where it's just us three though, it's like more like kind of like off the wall than when we have. It's like when we
Definitely.
have guests on, we almost have to like reel it in. So it's like let's not
We
put them through
we
this.
definitely
We all were just cackling 2 minutes ago to each other.
Yeah.
Same thing. It's like it's
yeah. It's kind of like, you know, it's like, I don't know, I don't think we were all maybe strange children as well. Like I was kind of a
100%.
weirdo,
Oh, I was
weirdo kid.
still
Like,
am
you
the
know,
weird-
when like your mom gives you a look like, listen,
Dressing up
I
like
love
Blue
you,
Man
but
over
you
here.
gotta fucking, we're going over to so-and-so's house. You gotta dial it back
Yeah,
a little
exactly,
bit. Like, can you
that's
just
it,
wear
yeah.
normal pants and not about Batman outfit? And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that, Mom.
Pep talk. Like,
Yeah, I don't know if I can do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Little pep talks all the time before.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
listen, before we go in there, I mean, I need you
Yeah,
to put
let
your
me-
hands behind your back and not touch it.
Yeah, let's go over the list of things you can't say to other people.
Now let's go over the list.
Yeah,
of
I know. I was laughing pretty hard in the car.
Yeah.
But let's be clear. As soon as this door opens, none of that shit.
Listen here, you little piece of shit. Don't you start going in the fridge eating cold cuts. I don't want to see
Yeah.
you. Sit the fuck down. Like, all right.
Yeah, I've had those conversations with I have three siblings. I have three brothers and a sister, and other than my sister, we're all involved in the music industry or in some phase of touring or recording. Actually,
Shout
my,
out to G-Tone.
yeah,
on
my
tour
older
right
brother's
now.
Hell
on
yeah.
tour with Dayglow Abortions right
Yeah.
now.
That's
So,
fucking
wild,
rad.
yeah.
yeah,
That's
like
rad.
how rad's that,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And it's always makes for weird Thanksgivings and stuff like that. Like I've literally have stories of like different brothers on tour crossing tour paths in different cities. Like,
Yeah.
it's a weird story, like to
Totally.
to have that. But so it's
The coolest thing, though.
it's fucking rad to like be able to share gifts like that with everyone. But I remember quite frequently having the conversation in the car before going to someone's house and being like, "Now listen here, you act appropriately.
Yeah,
when you go in there.
yeah.
Do
Oh
not
my
take
God.
cold cuts out of the fridge."
Yeah, exactly.
You little fuck.
I got
Yeah.
Black Forest ham. I'm taking that chance, Mom. What do you want me to do?
I've had a few conversations with some good friends of mine that I grew up with where it's like, well, hey, man, do you want to hang out? And it's like, I've introduced you to so many fucking nice people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
fuck up every time. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do it. Like, it is what it is.
Oh yeah, everyone's got a couple friends like that. You're like, man, if I met you now, there's no fucking
Dude,
chance we'd
yes.
hang out. But because
That's-
we learned how to kickflip together, I guess I have to be your friend for life. This is fucking horseshit.
We
really
bled
fucking-
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's really
exactly.
going to hurt my heart when you're not around, but I'd appreciate it if you weren't around.
Yeah. yeah, dude. Yeah, it happens. Yeah. I think I was that guy for a lot of people, actually. Yeah.
Everybody loves the redemption story.
Yeah, all right.
See, I feel like I don't have friends like that because I have no issue cutting people out.
Oh, yeah. Short straw jackets, you don't fuck around.
That's a
But
good
you got
skill.
your like diehards too, though. Like,
Well, exactly.
you know,
like my
I
three
don't
best
like,
friends I've known since I was 3 years old, and
Yeah,
so
that's-
any yeah,
that's
I
wild.
trim the
So
That's
fat
like
pretty
that's
easily.
island shit right there.
Hell
It
yeah,
is,
dude,
it
it's
is
some
small
Dunkin'
town
shit.
shit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of people through the years. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna reply to them anymore.
Just the ghost of friends.
Straight
back. There's nothing
the
wrong with
ghost
that.
of friendship
Oh,
back.
yeah. Fuck yeah.
You ever try being someone's friend? It didn't work out. Yeah.
It's just
Yeah,
Jackie
I was
Andrews
gonna
today.
say
Yeah,
like
Jackie
when that question. I'm like, I'm always that person.
They're looking for it and they just see 2 lines where the rubber peeled off. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, those are fresh Subaru tracks.
Yeah, right there.
Oh yeah,
man.
Dunkirk. That's what I wanted to fucking say to you, Jackie. The Blue Man story, the Blue Man bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when your dad is like trying to like find rides or whatever, it's like Dunkirk. It's like Christopher Nolan's film Dunkirk, where like they literally have to get every civilian boat to like ferry these people from one beach to the next.
Oh my god.
I was just saying, I'm like, holy fuck! It was like a real Dunkirk. That's so crazy.
I have to add that to the bit. That's so funny.
We're bouncing bits.
My secret sauce to that question was like asking which ones didn't get the love you feel they deserve. Is so like in future, in the ghost of future past, the ghost of future present, whatever. If you can like look back on an episode and be like, oh fuck, actually I did work that out and I got this like to that part. Like I love archiving more than anything. That was the whole reason I did those podcasts to begin with back in the day. Like I felt like there was all this cool shit happening and no one was documenting it.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's a bit of a time capsule like kind of vibe, right?
Yeah.
Well,
sure. There's something cool about it. You know what I mean? Like when you talk to somebody like that's too old to give a shit about all the communication and stuff like that or whatever, there's like, there's something cool about that dude or whatever, but I don't know, being lucky enough to do this or whatever and have, you know what I mean, all that shit to I don't know, I dig it.
Well, it's sick. I don't know, just like offhand, just because like this is the last episode I watched of this podcast, but like we had Morgan Farrell on here, like he's so dope and so prolific and how he puts together songs, and like he's really just a nice dude, obviously, right?
Dude,
and like hearing him talk about like they're going on European tour with the Core, it's like
so cool.
Okay, what is that going to look like in 5 years? What will people how will people talk about that and everything? It's like, boom, this is documented forever on this show. Like, how cool is that? Time capsule. I love that shit.
Yeah, and
sorry.
He's such like an articulate person too, which was good because I was aggressively hungover that day. I was like, thank God.
But like he had the best guy, but like also talking about like just, like the glory days of just like, being in a different city and killing a guy's bag of blow is just fucking hilarious.
That was,
you know what I
and
mean?
even that shit, and like as he kept talking, the more I was like, God damn it, dude, this guy's like, I did totally forget about this man's catalog. I'll be honest. I was like, I know from like recent shit. I'm like, fuck, he's just done it all, man. Like he's like, and he's here. Like that's super fucking dope. We've had that like, we've been very fortunate, especially like this year. I feel like it's been like. We've had some amazing fucking guests. So we're stoked.
The blush.
And another shout out to Morgan. He booked me on my first fucking punk show, which like I'm scared shitless about and ecstatic. You know what I mean?
You're
gonna
be dude, John. You're so perfect for this.
I know,
so
right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, we've been going.
That's what I've been.
They're gonna go up and be like, "Which band are you in?" Like, they're gonna,
exactly.
Yeah, you're gonna be totally
I get
fine.
that shit a lot, but I also think that like it's gonna be interesting because now I'm kind of like I have all these ideas and different like of jokes that I'm gonna write, and it's gonna be. I'm gonna have to work them out in front of audiences that aren't, you know what I mean, necessarily
aren't punk rock.
Yeah, exactly. But I just have to trust that material, like as long as it
work.
Yeah, exactly.
Even that is like
it's gonna be so fun just sending like you just like just random whatever stories and shit like that.
Well, that's the thing, you know what I mean. I've talked to like Die Job and like a bunch of other bands and stuff too that now they've seen the name on there, and could this be a possibility and shit? Like, I mean. Like Big J Okerson or Kyle Kinane we saw with Lawrence Arms and stuff, some of my favorites. But like Lenny Bruce opened for the fucking Rolling Stones and shit. So if you just put yourself in that position where, you know what I mean, love music so much and like just creative people and whatever, right? So they just all turn out to be buds. And we're all into the same shit, which just so happens to be that very specific kind of like umbrella of punk, whether it's like from hardcore to ska or whatever, but we're all like, you know what I mean? And that umbrella is like the fucking coolest thing to now be doing this long enough or whatever to have like just like weaseled into the community a little bit in a weird way is the fucking so cool.
So weird, right? Like, so it's like musicians feeling comedy adjacent, comedians feeling music adjacent.
Hell yeah.
It's
I'm just gonna go on tour, and I'm the easiest guy to take on tour too, right? Like I said, you know what I mean?
It's just a fucking you guys got a mic, dope.
Yeah, exactly. We'll go do 3 cities or 5 or whatever. You know what I mean? Just like bounce around and shit like that. That's the dream.
I fucking love the idea of having a recurring host on tour. Like it's like the tour's hosted by this person. Like.
Yeah, you have like a fucking ringmaster kind of vibe, like you know what I mean. Where
like
you're
that's how we've always done shows. Like in our family, like growing up, we always had like to do eclectic shows because there wasn't a big enough scene in our small town to like to have like individual genre shows or something. So it'd be pretty eclectic, but we would try to like stack it like a show. Like it's like now it's a variety hour. It's like this is now this is happening. Now this is happening. It's like you don't quite roll out the jugglers, but at the same time.
Well, exactly, right. And
Yeah.
the coolest thing, like the dream or whatever, would be kind of like if you get in a van with some people, and then I could get over there. So there's like 3 bands on the bill or whatever, but then I could reach out to whoever is in that, like find like some.
Oh,
like,
you're doing a ton of other games. You're fucking
Rogan
Rogan
right?
with
And then you
UFC.
just bring out the fucking.
You go to the
just-
one fucking, but then you're hitting up every other club around that fucking
right? Put 2
area.
other comics on and shit like that. Start the show a little bit earlier or whatever. Then
you
fucking
go.
you kind
I
of
know a
like you
guy
can
in a
do
lane.
both. You know what I mean? Right? Exactly. That's kind of like I don't know. It's so much easier to get off the ground than you think because it's just nobody's doing it yet. So it's just a matter of like reaching out and believing that you can.
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
gonna be sick, man. Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. We're at like the top of the hour. Do you want to like
Whatever should we plug?
What should we plug? And if you have a taste for what's coming next, then we'd love to hear about it.
Next I have a release coming out in July. It's going to be a remix of my youngest brother's band. They're called North Shore. Nothing to do with North Van or Wine Breath.
They are sick. I can vouch for this.
Okay.
Yeah.
North Shore is it's very like pop punk adjacent.
I love
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Right up my alley.
Love
It's
it.
super dope. I really like it, but I've never ever collaborated with any of my brothers ever on
Which
any.
is
Oh,
wild
cool.
to think about.
Fucking crazy. I know.
Especially as like I played with G-Tone and Skeeter and the Deets.
That's right.
And it was like, because G-Tone's like to me, I'm like that guy's the ultimate.
Yeah.
He's literally playing with everybody.
Yeah.
He's currently doing it on tour right now, but he's literally has played with everybody.
That's right.
Except
And like
you.
G-Tone's my older brother, and Jordan is my youngest brother, and then I have another brother, Brennan, between myself and Jordan. And Brendonius is like in this kind of I don't know, best way, like Iron Maiden-esque kind of metal kind of
Right.
band.
Yeah.
I love
And
it.
G-Tone's in Motorama, and they play like more skate thrash punk kind of stuff. And Jordan is like this pop punk kind of rock group, and the remix I've done for them with this like through Chatterless is very, in my opinion, reminiscent of like say the Postal Service or any of these like electronica kind of rock groups essentially. So I've tried to make what I thought was already a brilliant song into something special. And
Hell yeah,
it's
awesome.
It's different. It's
That's right,
fucking fun.
man.
So it's coming out around July-ish, and I think there might be an acoustic version of the song Jordan's doing too.
Dude,
Right
hell yeah.
on.
Fucking stoked for it, dude. You open invitation, you can come back anytime.
Oh,
Thank
hey,
you so
yeah.
much for coming on.
Thanks
This
for
was
having
awesome.
me.
This was
This
awesome.
this was
This is
super
great.
fun. You guys are awesome, and this is like really good. I hope I brought some good energy. And I
Oh,
hope,
great.
Oh my
energy.
god, hell
Yeah.
yeah, dude.
I hope everyone listening and watching is capable of having a good day today, because good days are all that count. Let's
Fucking
fucking
right,
go.
man.
There we go.
Dude, if you want to,
That's
I'm
lovely.
going to see the Foamites at 6:30. Man, you should come with me and fucking let's.
I'm not
Let's get
against
it.
that. Yo, and I know that group, so yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Hell yeah,
All
dude. Let's go
right.
get some
Well.
pizza.
All right. Peace out.
Yes.